Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live, talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynn@pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Hey, and a good morning at you. It's January 8th, and a lot of us last night were watching the news and thinking, ay, unbelievable, here we go again. It was really something, huh? Some measure of calm seems to have returned this morning. I don't know. Also, we will hear from we'll hear from Trump this morning. When I heard he was going to address the nation this morning, I thought, damn. I mean, he's going to do it at 10 a.m., right? But my people got together with his people, and we arranged for him to do the address at 11. So immediately after the show, he will then speak. One can only imagine what drivel will come from his mouth, although I'm sure he will be heavily scripted. If he takes questions, then that's another matter. Don't know what to say. We knew that, this is a man currently in office who is wholly incompetent and incapable. He is someone who is disinterested in statecraft, in other people. He is what you would put in office if you were, I don't know, like a capricious god who just wanted to see what mayhem would ensue. Like if the Joker were God. Hey, let's put this guy here in the White House and see what happens. If the incompetence of this administration is not apparent now to someone, then that person is without any hope of ever coming to their senses, I would suggest. The Iranians could have saved us last night by virtue of what now is openly being discussed, that they were, in fact, rather surgical in their strike last night on 2 American bases, in that they didn't want to kill any Americans. They didn't want to kill any Iraqis either, for that matter. They warned the Iraqis. They knew the Iraqis would warn us. So this is all somewhat show. Mostly, I imagine, for the domestic audience in Iran. But if they did what it appears they did, this quick strike, non-lethal strike, then thank God. And it gives our appalling leader the window to jump out of, that he would, and to get away from the mess that he made by not thinking it through. When you think of the mess that is the Middle East, that any president of any country would so blithely be provocative in the way that this man has been is approaching madness. Now, I do believe he is nuts, as well as one of the worst human beings ever to exist I think he's obviously, his narcissism, his soullessness is at such a level that the guy is incapable of functioning as a moral human being. So, could be that what looked early last night like a hot war about to break out in the Middle East, and stop and think about it. I mean, in my, what is it, in the last 20 years, give or take a year or two, this country has gone into two Middle Eastern nations, Afghanistan first, and then Iraq, and has engaged itself in unending wars in both countries. The longest wars of American history. In fact, they are still going on. They're going on because we don't know how to win them. They're going on because they are crazy wars in a crazy part of the world. They are too complicated, too complex, and there will never be a win in either. And for this idiot currently occupying the White House to bring us, as he did last night, to a potential third war in the Middle East, and this one with an even mightier nation than the other two we're already involved with, is the very definition of, well, what? Incompetence, impulsivity, failure to think things through, stupidity, malfeasance, and yet another high crime and misdemeanor, that of being a total effing fool and playing with people's lives. How's about, I know it's a crazy idea coming from out of nowhere, how's about we finish, in some manner, one of the two wars we're already in the Middle East, before we start a third, and without a doubt, the biggest war, and probably most, again, unwinnable war. Jeez. It's stunning. And right before I came in, I was checking out some stuff, because one of the things that happens when other presidents have been in situations like this, like you think, impending war with a major adversary, like JFK, a young president, and the Soviet Union, and the Bay of Pigs, the fiasco of the Cuban Missile Crisis, all of this kind of stuff. Presidents have around them people who are very serious, very knowledgeable, whose entire careers have given them wells of information and, again, experience to perhaps know how to thread the needle in these extremely difficult situations in which one mistake, one miscalculation, one misunderstood step can result literally in the deaths of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, who knows what, human beings. And so, this president, as I mentioned yesterday, has had a revolving door at his White House, unlike any seen before. If you think of cartoons, and sometimes a revolving door in a cartoon, starts spinning so fast it just becomes a blur, that's sort of like the White House under Trump, People come in, people are out. People come in, people are out. People come in, people are out. They aren't even in there long enough to, in fact, secure the position they're supposedly in. They are not in long enough to have the Senate confirm them. The Senate, by the way, is too busy confirming every inept judge in the country that happens to belong to the Federalist Society. So this is a president now who's brought us to the brink of war, and his administration has managed to rid itself of everyone who could be considered competent or a possibly ameliorating force in the chaos of this White House. Right now, here are the jobs that are not filled in this White House that took us to the brink of war last night. We currently do not have a director of national intelligence. Maybe that's because we're the stupidest country in the world, and to talk about national intelligence when we elected this incompetent fool to be our president, it seems like a misnomer that such a country would have a director of national intelligence when national stupidity is the norm. A director of national nincompoopery would be a better position. So, we currently have no director of national intelligence. We don't even have a deputy director of national intelligence. As far as I know, the person who makes Xerox copies for the folks in national intelligence is now running the department. We have no Secretary of Homeland Security. What do we need that for going into a potential war? We don't have a Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security. We don't have a Secretary of the Navy. The list goes on and on. We do not, in the Pentagon and in the State Department, the two departments that you would need really up, functional, muscular, knowing exactly where they're going, those two, State and Defense, are and they're run by these incompetent, well, we know war hawks. So, I'm just saying, it appears that we might have dodged a bullet last night, and we can thank the Iranians. Who are not as crazy as we are. Jesus H. Of course, let's not be naive. The Iranians aren't done. I mean, everybody is saying that, and of course they're not. They're done with the show, the big spectacle of last night. They're done with the stagecraft. But they will be nettle in this president's administration until its dying day, which we should only hope is 11 months away. I don't know. I just... the thing is, I mean, what... I was going to say, what was he thinking? How silly. His own base doesn't want another war. His own base. I mean, if this guy was looking to get Americans out into the streets by the millions, Americans to the left, Americans to the right, Americans in the center, who the F wants another war? When we can't finish any war we seem to start. God damn. Oh, yeah, little Tony reminds me of the plane that crashed right outside of, it takes off from the Tehran airport and down, killing everybody on board. Poor Ukraine. What the hell? Man, they can't buy a break. And Iran will not turn the black box from that from the downed plane over to Boeing, because Boeing will, of course, be able to share that with the White House. Who the hell knows? Was that plane shot down inadvertently? I don't know. And we'll never know, is my guess. Meanwhile, Mitch McConnell says he's ready to go ahead and he doesn't need any witnesses. I mean, sure. Why would you need witnesses in a trial of some import? Who needs witnesses? We don't need no stinking witnesses. And John Bolton all of a sudden coming out of the blue and saying, I will testify, suggests to me that he's playing this in a way. I wouldn't trust John Bolton for a second. John Bolton was somebody who wanted war with Iran. He now must be just sky high about what this White House did, even if this White House threw him back into the revolving door. I wouldn't trust John Bolton to take down the president when this president is doing things that John Bolton thinks are smart. I don't know. What a messed up nation we are. Where was it that I saw? Oh, yeah, I know. You know, there's so many other things that we could talk about. For instance, the Washington Post today. Now, obviously, the first stories are all about this, you know, how blah, 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 blah. But then you see that there are other things happening. And I just want to, I'm just going to read some headlines to you, just so we, again, remind ourselves that the world is still going on out there. And there are stories that might be worthy of our interest. I'm still sifting through. Oh, here, let's see. Here's one. Police had him on their radar for months. Now he's accused of cannibalizing a Grindr date. Now that would be big news pre-Trump. Some guy ate his date on Grindr. That is, that's a story. Here. Oh, gee, some of them have disappeared already. Here's a good one. It began with a piece of popcorn stuck in his teeth. It ended with open heart surgery. I'm just saying. Who hasn't had popcorn stuck in their teeth? Here's another one. Foxes keep attacking this 88-year-old, leading him to strangle one with his bare hands. This is the Washington Post today. So there are still people paying attention to other stuff that is going on in the world. What else I got here? Yeah. Well, oh, we have a call. All right, we got a caller. Let's come on in. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
I called the other day, but I think something was weird was going on the phone. I hope it goes better today. I don't think you understood half of what I was trying to get at. No, the thing was my fault, plus there was something with the phone, too.
Okay.
But anyway, you were talking the other day about how we got to the Iraq War, and it was based on lies and everything. You did a really good job, I think, comparing it to the lies that I think McNamara and Johnson and Nixon all told and kept us in there, and that's where we're at. That's why we're there, where we're available for the Iran to do what they want to do to us. Would you agree with that?
Again, we are having a failure to communicate. Would I agree that exactly what? Phrase that again. That what we.
But the reason we're in Iraq even to this day is based on lies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Similar to the lies that were told
to get us into
staying in Vietnam.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. We're lied to with the. A report just came out about our presence in Afghanistan and how they've been lying to us about Afghanistan since almost day one. Yeah, we are lied to. And this president, this White House, has, taken lying to, nobody believes anything that comes out of his mouth. He is not to be trusted with anything that is said. You have to figure at least half the American public and most of the world feels that way, right? He has no credibility.
How the American public feels.
He has no credibility with 50%. We'll give just 50% of the American people. No, he's incapable of telling the truth. Huh?
Yeah, but he's still got that crazy base. It even goes back to George Bush when, this so-called beacon of democracy that was going to be Iraq. We could look at, facts don't matter anymore. I work with people who don't believe we landed on the moon. My wife has good customers who are smart people who don't believe we landed on the moon. And it's like, they used to be the crazy people back in the day.
Yeah.
Now they're like 40, 50%, I think. It's that nuts. And it doesn't matter what the facts are. Because we could talk about the debt and the deficit and what it was under, what we have now, what we did, as compared to Obama or Clinton.
Well, so we have a very,
that doesn't matter.
we have a misinformed, we have a lot of misinformed people, and that will only get worse because of, social media, because people now can pick and choose where they're going to get their facts and their information, and there are, an extraordinary number of purveyors of totally false information. And it used to be, back in a kinder, gentler time, or a less complex time, that, everybody read the same newspapers and watched the same television news and had the same information. And we were better off for that. We really were. So I don't know.
Even the economy. Even the economy is a joke. Is it good? Sure. I guess it's good for some people.
It's good for rich people.
Good,
yeah.
But it was better under Obama, and
right.
It was even better under Clinton.
Yeah. Well.
When we talk about job growth, the stock market growth, it was all better under Obama and Clinton.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's statistically speaking, it's not bad now. It's really good, but it was better under those two.
Well, and so
what we have now, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, it's very frustrating.
Yes.
To not have a intelligent conversation with people with real facts.
Okay. Yeah. Well, welcome to the world we live in. I know. Frustrating.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Okay, quickly.
Okay. What would happen if whoever the Democratic candidate says, you know what, I'm not going to go to a debate. Why am I going to stand on the stage and have to listen to this bozo lie the whole time? I will have a series of press conferences, and you can ask me any question you want, and I will tell you the answer to the best of my ability. But I'm not getting on the stage with with a liar. He's beneath all of us, and I'm not going to subject you to that. How do you think that might be received?
Not well, and not well by the media, not well by a lot of people. And I would wait and let Trump be the one who says, I won't debate. Because he very well might do that.
You think that's a possibility?
Oh, yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do. Who the hell?
Okay.
You know, can anyone make any predictions anymore? I mean, come on. None of us can. We have no idea where this runaway train is going. But we do know there'll be a train wreck of some sort. We just hope we all survive. So thank you for the call.
Please. Okay.
Okay. Bye. I had paid no attention to this story, but I'm going to. So Harvey Weinstein is on trial, and one of his trials. And have you noticed? Somebody did a good report about how all of a sudden this movie mogul who's raped a woman a day is, when you see him now, he can barely walk. He's on a walker, and his walker even has neon tennis balls on the feet. Now, as was pointed out in the article, Harvey Weinstein is perfectly capable, if he has to have a walker, of having some beautiful walker that has some beautiful glidey things. He doesn't need the tennis balls, I assure you. But this is an act. It is to make him look pathetic, powerless, so that jurors would think, look at that broken down old man. And they're going, anything that will help him get sympathy and look like he is incapable of overpowering these healthy young women who say these things. So it's been pointed out that this is a tactic that is used all the time. A defense attorney will dress their client in such a way that they will present themselves, not necessarily as they are, but in a way that might help the defense. Remember Bill Cosby? All of a sudden, remember he's under trial and we find out he's walking around and they say he's blind. We think, he's blind? Wasn't he doing a show just the other day? He's legally blind and he's got a man holding him up and he's got a cane. And all that was a bunch of crapola, too. And his attorney would say things like, he's a 78-year-old blind man who they're torturing in this manner. Remember Michael Jackson showing up at a hearing in his pajamas? So sick he couldn't even get dressed. This is just something that the rich do when they are caught and when their power is no longer useful in some ways. They need to project anything but power. So just pointing that out, if you've seen Harvey Weinstein lately, because he looks like he's 120. And I bet they even put makeup on him, give him this ashen look. Not that he ever looked good. He also is surrounded by men who make him look like he's wasted away, and he's still overweight. The guys around him are like, if the pure poundage, I know I'm not supposed to do this kind of thing anymore, you don't drive, is beyond belief when you see a picture of Harvey Weinstein. The poundage of the men surrounding him is, really pretty extraordinary. All right. So I don't know about you. Are you going to be able to listen to the president when he addresses the nation, or are you going to wait for the transcript later so you don't have to hear him or see him? Or, I mean, I know so many people who literally cannot look As a matter of fact, every morning I look in the mirror at one of them. Oh, God. Some of what serious people in Washington are saying, hey, somebody stole the chair I stole. Well, how dare they? I stole a chair for Ryan Deto. Did you see somebody come and take it? How funny. Here he comes. He stole his own. Here we go. All right, Ryan.
Hello.
Get yourself in here.
Should I close this door at all? Or leave
No,
it open?
is it bother? I mean, do you hear me out there? Is it like?
No, not really.
Not really. It's just like.
No. I can hear you, but it's not.
It's like you can
loud.
tune me out. No
Right,
problem.
right.
Well, I don't like hearing that.
Oh, I turned mine off. Oh. How do I turn it back? This button? I don't know.
Yeah, you're on. I think we need to get a little tighter.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
All right. Okay. All right. See.
Chair wars. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're on.
All
You're
right,
on. You're
sweet. All right. War? We talking war?
Well,
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. It's
War. What is it good for? Yeah, a friend of mine tweeted out the song last night. She was freaking out.
I love that AOC video where she does a little dance and then she points to the camera.
Oh yeah. So what is it good for? So I think the Iranians have probably finessed this.
Right. It feels like it
It feels a little better this morning than
sure.
it did last
But who
night.
knows? Who knows? It depends on
yeah.
what the Americans are going to
Yeah,
do. But
so-
it seems like Trump is like, oh, I'm done. So
If he comes out, though, and starts, the bellicose and offensive, if he goes off script, I'm sure somebody has written something for him
Right,
today.
right.
Who the hell knows? We got a fucking idiot, lunatic, dangerous, unbelievably
Right.
unstable, impulsive. It's like don't you really think a toddler would do better?
Oh, I mean, any bureaucrat. Just put any bureaucrat in
Any
that position.
anybody. Well,
Literally.
no, I'll take anybody. The next person who walks by would be head and shoulders.
I'm not even a fan of necessarily like just having someone who just does what the bureaucrats say.
There she is, the next president of the United States.
You're gonna do it. She's not old
Yeah.
enough, though. She's not old enough.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're elected. That's it. She's not old enough. Oh yeah,
You gotta
she's
be
not.
35.
Yeah,
I'm not
right,
old
right,
enough.
right.
Yeah.
I could give you a few of my
Yeah,
years.
that's right.
Jeez.
Couple more years. I'm
Couple more
turning
years.
33 in a week.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
So we maybe have the same birthday.
January 16th?
18.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah.
It's a good weekend.
Is it a weekend?
No, mine's not on a weekend. It's on Thursday.
Oh,
But it's,
mine's on the weekend.
it's a good weekend because it's usually MLK weekend. So
Yes,
I
it's
like
an
to
MLK
share
weekend,
I
and
used
you
to share
get-
my birthday weekend with
Yes,
MLK
with
weekend.
Martin Luther King.
Right.
That works well.
Yeah.
All right, so, jeez. All right, a lot's happened since last we spoke.
That's right. Yeah, it's been like a month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget everything always, just like everyone else in America, where you just have an attention span of like 10,
I know.
10 seconds.
I know. It is true. Like in a given day, right? So much happens that
Right,
you can't.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah, because this Iran stuff's only like 1 week. It's like 1 week cycle. That's it, pretty much.
and that, no, literally, and you cannot retain.
Yeah, it's hard. We need to.
And you've got a supple young brain.
I know.
Still.
I know.
Mine is. It really is.
Right.
And I'm forgetful about a lot of things. So I'm thinking, well, actually, do you know to be able to forget now is a real life skill.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
People who are forgetful might be emotionally healthier.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, like, it was actually a pretty slow news cycle, I think, over the holidays. There
Yeah.
wasn't really anything that was like huge. There definitely wasn't any like big Pittsburgh news that I can recall. I mean, I kind of wrote some silly stuff, really. Just
Really?
So,
So
yeah,
you're totally
yeah.
uninterested. Hey,
Yeah.
I've got something you like.
Okay.
Dateline, Kansas City, Missouri. Why is the abbreviation for Missouri MO? Because Mississippi, no.
Well, there's a ton of M states.
Minnesota, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
So which one is MI? Minnesota. No, that's MN. MN. Mississippi is maybe MS.
It is MS.
So is there another state?
Yes, Michigan.
Michigan's MI.
Right.
It got
There's also
the
Maine, Montana.
Yeah.
So
but Missouri.
MT I think is Montana. ME is Maine.
All right, but still, MO.
I don't know. And then MA is Massachusetts. So there's like M is like the most. We have the most states that start with
M. M has the most states.
I believe so. Yeah. I don't think it's even that close, really. A is
You're
pretty
just
close.
saying that
A's,
off the top of
A's,
your head.
A is pretty close too.
Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas, Apollonia.
There's another one.
There's a lot of W's.
West Virginia.
Wisconsin.
Are there more than that? Okay. I think M is the most, though.
How about N with all the news?
No, there's not that many N's.
New Mexico, New Hampshire,
New York.
North Dakota,
That's true.
New York.
There are a lot of N's.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many? What do we got? How many? What's the letter with the most states?
I'm sure it's M. And we even forgot some.
All right. Well, let's get back to Missouri, Kansas City, which the metro area is split between two states, which I find interesting.
I know. Okay,
so is St. Louis, though. So.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, Kansas City, Missouri.
What right, here we go.
There are 6.
Oh, we're tied.
What? We're tied?
M and N are tied with
M and N. Well, then what aren't we remembering for Nebraska?
I don't know. I usually do it.
No, New Mexico. Do we say New Mexico? New Mexico, New Hampshire, New.
Let's try
New York.
to do them all.
Okay. Do the news.
Okay.
New York, New Hampshire, New Mexico.
Right.
There's those all the news.
Yeah. Nebraska, North Dakota, North Carolina.
Are those all the Norths?
6.
North Carolina, North Dakota.
That's
yeah,
6. Right. We can get it. Come
on.
Why is this so hard? No, we already said New Hampshire.
We said the news.
Wait. Come on now.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Are there 3 news? There's 3. We got them. So we're missing 2.
Yeah, what are we missing?
I don't know.
Not a word. Nevada. All right, one more. We got one more.
Oh,
we can get it.
I can't. I'm totally out.
Wait.
Wyoming.
Take our time.
Oregon.
No, stop it.
All right, wait. What? Maybe there's like one of those little ones in the,
like in New England somewhere.
Yeah.
It's Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
So what is it?
New Jersey.
We
forgot
it now. Forget it then.
Okay. All right.
That's
all of them.
Okay, we'll stop.
Okay.
Can you imagine how many people have been screaming at us? New Jersey!
I know.
New Jersey! How could you?
Borders the state that we're in right now.
Okay, what started this off? Oh, right. Dateline, Kansas City, Missouri. Right. Kansas City will become the first major American.
I know about this. Of course I do. I'm a transit rider. We're talking about free bus fare?
Yeah. I saw it and I thought, Ryan will be so happy. And Kansas City will become the first major American city to offer free public transit.
Right.
And you know what their bus fare, what the fare was $1.50.
Right. Our fare is one of the highest in the countries.
What the F? Come on now.
Yeah. Well,
how can they do that?
Well, first of all,
they rolling in dough?
First of all, Kansas City is not as good as a transit city as Pittsburgh is. So let's just start there. I think a lot of people saw that headline and they're like, oh my gosh, they're the best. Like, Kansas City Transit's not that good.
So you mean they have about 3 buses that wander around? They say,
they have plenty of buses, but it's just like in terms of a walkable, transit-oriented, transit usage city, Pittsburgh is way higher than Kansas City. But it is going to be an interesting experiment. There's actually been a lot of writing about whether free bus fare is beneficial or not, because there's some there's some incentivizing in terms of like you pay for it, so you want to upkeep it. You know, like in terms of transit. I do think our bus fares are too high.
Oh, they're ridiculous.
But at the same time,
because
I don't want to.
Rich people don't take the goddamn bus.
Yeah, they do. In the East End, they do. Yes, they do. They definitely do. Not like a ton, but there are people who take. There is a diverse population that takes the bus
that's
from
true.
the East
I
End.
heard of a guy yesterday.
And Mount Lebanon as well.
I heard of a guy yesterday. He's a banker at PNC. He lives right near the East Liberty, but he jumps on the busway, goes down to work. He comes home at lunch to walk his dog.
And you can do it
on the busway. And then
this guy should have been in my busway story. What a story! That's amazing. This is what good, high quality transit can do when you give buses their own right of way.
Yeah,
everyone will use them.
Oh hell yeah!
There is no
I have introduced a
poor,
lot of rich
rich
people to
It's
the
amazing.
busway.
You can get downtown in
you want to
15
go
minutes.
downtown? You don't have to look for a place to park. Here, come
Which
with
is also
me.
super expensive.
I know.
Regardless of how rich you are, it's crazy expensive. And then
Yeah.
also just driving around looking for a spot is annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then the cost of it.
I think the Kansas City thing's interesting. I think a lot of people are saying let's bring this here. And I'm not saying we shouldn't, but man, we gotta convince the Republicans to up our funding a lot if we want to maintain our service. And there's just a lot of questions, but it's going to be a really intriguing experiment. Hopefully, it'll lead to more riders. Hopefully, it'll lead to an increase. I'm a little skeptical that it will, especially because it's already not a very high transit use city.
Hey, I wanted to show you something that'll make you miserable. Now that I had the Kansas City thing that would make you. This is from the New York Times business section. This is a story of how some rich people are buying their 3- and 4-year-olds cars.
Okay, like Power Wheels.
No, like that.
Okay,
Like an actual.
right. That looks like a Power Wheels to me.
What do you mean Power Wheels?
You don't know what Power Wheels are? Those are like little electric cars that went like 3 miles an hour that you rode around like the
It is Power
cul-de-sacs.
Wheels. Oh, you know about this.
There is this. I had this. Like we had this when I was a little kid.
You had.
I didn't have one. My parents did not get me one, but some other kids had them.
Geez, my kid
They
had
are
this
really
little
stupid
bubble
because
thing that he had to do with his feet.
It's
what?
way better to have a bike when those things are at least when I was a kid they were super slow. You can walk faster than them.
Okay.
They're so slow. They might be faster now, but
Yeah, but Jaguar has a gasoline-powered kiddie car. You can get it at FAO Schwartz for $10,000.
to really indoctrinate our kids into killing the planet continually.
That's right.
By having fossil fuel powered little cars for when they're little kids. Ride a bike. It's faster. It's better.
Listen, the head of Mercedes says it's the beginning of building a relationship with the child.
Oh, this makes me very upset.
I know
This makes me extremely upset. You know how cheap a bike is? Like a kid's bike, you can get kids' bikes for like $50, and that's like brand new. You know, like just give them a little bike. I love to have. Oh my gosh, Lynn.
All right, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's
I'm
too
sorry.
much.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I got one other thing here
Okay.
for you. You know, people keep saying how young people are coming to Pittsburgh because it's,
Yeah, affordable.
low quality.
Yeah.
Low
quality. Low air quality, am I right?
That's right. It's
That's probably
low-
the story from when we were gone is the air quality stuff. 'cause
That
there's a long-in
is
version.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I have to tell you, oh my God, I was actually scared that day.
I think a lot of people were.
I'm 2 of the categories they told to be careful.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Old, right? Really old.
It's true. I mean, most of the obituaries are, believe me, younger than I am. I'm old and I'm asthmatic.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a dog. I got to
Yeah,
take the dog out.
yeah.
I'm walking the
You have to wear
dog
a
and I'm
mask
like
in China.
I'm like this. And I swear, I ended up on taking my rescue inhaler later. I mean, and I bumped into these people who just moved here from St. Louis.
Okay.
And the guy said, "This fog is unbelievable." I said, "This fog is deadly."
Yeah, it's bad.
I said, "Let me tell you about this fog."
Right.
Right.
It's really incredible how I mean, like, I think I was one of them, kind of, but it's really incredible how few people know about inversions as a concept of weather.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like happened forever. The Denora smog.
Well,
was
that's
the
what I
most
said. I said,
famous
I know.
inversion in the,
I said,
in the country.
There was this thing that happened in 1948, right down the river.
Not that far.
Right down the
Like
river.
20 miles or
and
something.
it killed people. It was just like this.
Yeah, a lot of
exactly
people,
like this.
yeah.
That's right. So, anyway, there's that. So this guy who moved here, he's a Google worker.
Okay.
And he was living in San Francisco, and he's thinking,
Hometown.
gee whiz, the cost of living here, unbelievable, got to get the hell out. He starts hearing from other Google people, hey, Pittsburgh,
Right.
it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You can live like a king here,
Right.
instead of in a hovel.
Right. No
So-
traffic.
No traffic, no
Yeah.
this, no that,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So he came here, and he lives right near me. He lives like
Okay.
4 blocks from me.
Cool.
Listen to what he has said. And this guy, where is it?
I don't know.
Here. Did you see this? It's a public source article. God damn it. First of all, this guy annoys me because he's one of these like overly. Okay, so he says he starts noticing as soon as he gets here.
Mm-hmm.
He lives near Bakery Square because
Right.
that's where Google is.
Yep.
And that was one of the things. I can walk to work. It's
Yeah,
just
it's awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's a good walkable city.
But he starts smelling something.
yeah.
And he says it seemed like almost like burnt rubber.
Yeah. Sulfur. That's what it is, usually.
He says, we started noticing an obnoxious stench in the mornings, a mix of smells resembling coal tar and sulfur. I live in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't notice that
Yeah.
stench. I don't notice
I usually
the
don't notice the
energy.
smell either, but during the inversion, when I was
but
outside,
not-
I actually noticed it.
But this
time.
isn't the inversion.
When was it?
He says it's pollution. Anyway, I wondered if someone was burning tires, and then he heard it's industrial pollution.
Right.
And he says, I'm 46. I've lived in a dozen different places: California, Oregon, Alaska, Utah, Colorado, Minnesota, New York,
I like that
Kentucky.
you pronounce Oregon correctly, which is nice. You know, so many people say Oregon, and it just really makes me mad.
What did I say?
Oregon. Anyway,
All right.
I'm just telling listeners it's Oregon, not Oregon. Stop
I'm
it.
so proud. And I'm a hick from the Midwest.
That's
I don't
right,
even
yeah.
know why I know
I
that.
lived in
Okay.
Oregon.
It's like I don't know how to pronounce. I say Lancaster.
Oh.
That's not right. Right? Lancaster.
Lancaster, yeah.
Lancaster.
But it's different because there's a Lancaster in California, and it's
That it is
and and it's
Lancaster.
Lancaster, yeah.
There's a North Versailles somewhere too.
That's here in Pittsburgh.
No, North Versailles is in
I see.
Pittsburgh.
All
I'm
right,
saying
all
there
right.
isn't.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I sidetracked us.
Anyway, he says, I've encountered air pollution like this exactly once, driving near the petroleum cracking plants north of Salt Lake City in the 1980s.
They have those? I didn't know they were there.
Anyway,
Guess what's coming to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Cracker plant.
he's leaving.
Oh, he is? Yeah, I mean,
He says, I'm getting the hell
a little
out.
bit of a fear monger.
This guy, he says he is actively now telling people do not come here. He said he heard Rich Fitzgerald, our county executive, say that the local growth of businesses here like Facebook, Google, and Uber show that businesses are not scared away
Yeah.
by concerns about
That's
air
right. He said,
quality.
Marty.
And this guy says, I can't speak about Facebook or Uber, but in regard to Google, I can say without question that Fitzgerald's assertion is not true. My team and all other local teams I work with have struggled to acquire and keep talent for the entire time I've been in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Multiple coworkers have left in the last 2 years, several citing concerns about air quality and lead
Yeah.
in the water.
Yeah, we're making progress on the lead though. They They changed out my pipes in front of my place recently, and my water pressure went way up. It was awesome.
I cannot justify staying here. I am leaving and transferring to a different office within Google. I am not going quietly. I am active on our internal lists, encouraging people to use the Smell PGH app.
Yeah, that thing was on fire over the over the inversion week.
I am giving advice to coworkers to avoid Pittsburgh. I credit myself with discouraging at least a dozen contacts in the tech industry from considering Pittsburgh.
All right. I think this is a little extreme.
I do too. Why don't you?
I mean, like.
Why don't you go slap this guy around a little bit? I mean, I think
I
this
agree
is,
with most of his points.
Yeah,
that,
look at it. Yeah, but look at him. Doesn't he look like someone you'd want to slap around?
I'm not gonna judge his
Come on.
looks.
Well, jeez, I want to punch that face.
Anyway, I think it's a little extreme what he's
Yeah.
saying. I do agree with a lot of it that like I think Fitzgerald is a little talking out of both sides of his mouth with like wanting our tech industry to go, but also being a huge proponent of fracking and
Yeah.
almost and a little bit of
Yeah.
a protector of the industrial jobs in the area or industries in the area. But yes, we do need a strong advocacy to fight for our air quality, and there is a strong advocacy to fight for our air quality, and they've been making some strides. Honestly,
I thought during the inversion, the county health department, and I kept waiting for this to be the lead story, that this was like crisis level. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean they sent out a release after the inversion happened.
After.
Yeah, and they're announcing new rules. We wrote about it on the city paper.
Yeah, new rules.
Right.
Rules that should have been in effect.
I agree.
5 decades ago.
Apparently, we had some inversion-related rules, but apparently they're not being enforced enough and haven't been updated to consider this certain kind of particulate
I have
matter.
no doubt that Pittsburgh gave me asthma, by the way.
We have we have some of the highest asthma rates in the whole country.
I never,
My
ever.
girlfriend has asthma, too.
I got asthma when I was in my 50s.
Yeah, it's bad.
Come
I'm
on,
riding my bike
after
to
I'd
work
lived
right
here
now.
for
I'm gonna
20
get
years.
asthma too. Shit.
Okay, we have a call.
Okay.
We have a caller. Hello, call. Oh, wait. Don't we have a headset?
That's fine.
Okay, caller. Go ahead.
Hi, Lynn. If you recall, this is a little off topic. If you recall, I believe the musical Oklahoma, when Ado Annie is singing a number and she says, "In Kansas City, Mo." So, here's your Mo.
I haven't heard Oklahoma before or seen it.
What?
No,
That's
sorry.
one of the greatest musicals
Shame
of
on
all
you.
time. Oh,
I know what it is.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes.
I don't know the songs.
And the waving
Wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain.
the rain.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, check it out. But yeah, she
I have
said
been to
Every
Oklahoma,
night,
though.
my honey pie and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky. I know you're behind me. I know we belong to the land. and the land we belong to is grand. So when we say, yow, yippee-ki-ki-away. Oh, I me.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye. We're
Yeah,
only
Kansas City,
saying
no.
you're doing fine, Oklahoma.
Wow, you know the whole soundtrack?
Oklahoma. Okay. Oklahoma. Oh, and there's a great one I did as a when I first auditioned for something.
Okay.
And was told you can't sing.
What? What? Huh?
I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go. Just when I ought to say nix.
Okay. I'm nixing this.
When a feller tries to kiss a girl, I know she ought to give his face a slap. But each time a feller kisses me, I somehow always want to kiss him back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. That's good. I'm trying to think of.
Those were the greatest
Yeah.
musicals.
I'm not insulting Oklahoma. It's canon. You know, it's American canon. I understand. I just haven't seen it. So I've been trying to catch up. We were talking about broadcast news. I got that. You know.
See.
Great. So good.
You think that's an old movie?
Well, from the
Broadcast
70s,
news.
from before I was born, Lynn. There's this thing called time.
I know. So there's some great
I'm trying.
movies.
I gotta catch up. Yeah, I just so it's harder. You know, you gotta catch up.
You have to make a point
Right.
of
Of learning
It's
our
your
history,
cultural
history.
heritage.
Right. I agree.
The Iranians are going to bomb it.
I can't believe he said that.
He did. Isn't that
know.
amazing?
It's just.
Oh, and we got their cultural sites. He doesn't have a sense of their global nature of this culture.
He doesn't have a sense of anything about
Does he
Iran.
even know that this
Iran.
was what we called Persia?
Right.
And the history there is.
I think most Americans don't know. I just saw this tweet that was like only 23% of Americans can correctly identify where Iran is on a map.
They can't find the United States on a map.
Now, our geography education in this country is abhorrent. Abhorrent.
Abhorrent.
Yeah.
ABHO.
But we were able to name the 8 of the
Nah.
N states, so pretty good.
No, you know how I've said this before. Americans learn geography when we go to war.
That's
the only way we ever learn.
Where's Vietnam?
Yeah, right. Oh, look at that. And and still, if you were give most Americans a map of the Middle East, they can't find. Yeah, where's Iraq? Where's Iran? Where's Afghanistan? Where's Turkey, Syria,
Right.
Israel? They
I could do
don't
it.
know.
I could do it.
I think I could too.
I took a course on Middle Eastern geography in college.
did?
Actually,
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
I did. Yeah, I love geography stuff. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend and I are obsessed. We have maps all over our house. I can name all 50 states and capitals like easily, no problem.
Jeez, you should go on Jeopardy.
I don't know if I'm that good. Those people are really.
Did you watch last night?
No, I didn't. I have to watch.
They're pretty friggin' smart,
They're
I'll
really
tell you
smart.
that. And it
They're
looks like
really
Ken
good.
Jenkins might be the smartest. I don't know.
He's the best. He's just so good. He's a good guy. He seems like just a really good guy.
He does?
Yeah, Ken Jennings.
I think all of them seem like they're sort of nice people.
Yeah, the Brad guy's kind of a jerk, I think.
The
Brad guy. He's okay.
Brad?
Yeah, the other guy, the bearded guy.
No, he's originally from Lancaster. He was from Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right. People from Pennsylvania,
Rucker.
none of them are ever jerks.
Hey, he's one of our own.
Yeah.
You gotta, stick up for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so anything happening that this week?
Yeah. You see Harry Reachaw is retiring.
Who?
Harry Reachaw, state rep. The state rep from Southern Pittsburgh.
Reachaw.
He's been serving for 25 years, and he's finally calling it quits. He had a progressive he has a progressive challenger, but now he doesn't have the challenger anymore because he's retiring. And he's kind of one of the last Blue Dogs Democrats, like in the city. Definitely the last one in the city. That's going to retire.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so we might get a more progressive.
It looks it's up in the air now. Now it's going to be a wide open primary, so who knows? But that race was actually going to be pretty hard for a progressive challenger because it's still kind of conservative.
Okay, well, so maybe you'll get a Republican in there.
No, it's still Democratic, but it's conservative Democrats.
Where?
It's weird.
Where is this
It's
thing?
like Carrick, Overbrook, Brookline,
Yeah.
that Allentown, that area. It's actually kind of shocking because it's very Democratic. Like it supported Hillary Clinton by a wide margin, but in terms of other races, it really supported Zapala. It really supported. It's really supported Reachout for years, and he's anti-abortion and pro-gun and all this other stuff. So that was kind of a surprise to I guess people who aren't like really, really following politics. His kind of abrupt retirement. So there's still a lot of Blue Dogs out there, though. There's like 12 or 13 of them in Western Pennsylvania.
Blue Dogs being Democrats.
Conservatives, like
Who would
socially
be-
conservative Democrats.
Who probably should be Republicans.
Right, except that they like usually support
It's the union
like,
stuff.
labor
It's
and
union stuff. That's
but they're
why it's
very
all those.
anti-abortion,
It's
they're
why
anti-immigrant
all
usually.
these Democrats around here that became Democrats and their parents were Democrats because they were labor
Right,
union
right.
people. They are not comfortable in the Democratic Party.
No. But it's so interesting though, because like they, I'm just shocked. Some of them are still around. Like Frank Burns out in like Johnstown, his district was plus 40 for Trump, and he won re-election in 2018. Plus 40.
Shit.
Pam Snyder in Greene County.
But that shows how conservative he is.
Right.
So these are dinos, Democrats in name only.
But I think they're going to stick around. It's really interesting. I think it's really interesting.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
After my singing today, I bet they're going to tell me to close the door, aren't they?
You did almost sing the entire song.
I didn't. Oh, you have no idea. I can give you a private rendition.
Wait for tomorrow. You're going to bring a Okie hat in and some cowboy boots.
Well, seeing as I thought we were going to be in World War III last night, I think it's great that we were able to.
I was also afraid about that.
Yes, that was really a frightening night.
Wasn't good.
We're, so, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Absolutely. Always.
Okay. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.